Hello, and welcome to the BOWA Show.
Thanks for joining us again.
It's 2020, and it's March, but we're about to make some changes, Ben.
Big ones.
Big ones.
Well, not huge, but it's going to be fun changes.
Yep.
Let's jump right in and tell them, follow us on YouTube, hit that button, like us on Facebook, do all the fun internet stuff, click all the buttons.
No matter where you get your podcast, whether it's iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, for your positivity package, click that subscribe button on there as well.
We do this show for you.
Leave reviews. That helps us tremendously to get new listeners. The only way Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, any of those things know that we're doing well is because you tell them we're doing well. So if you could do that, that's appreciated. We'll get more into format changes in a little bit here.
Yep.
But I thought we'd start episode, 46, Ben?
46 today. We're getting up there.
Season 2, episode 7 or 8. We lose track of that number pretty
that
easily.
one's tough.
But at least we have the overall count going.
Right.
And we already even have a plan for the future episodes. We have the next 4 episodes laid out. I know, look at us being all productive and whatnot.
Yeah. It's like we're adults.
This podcast is going to take some new forms in 2020, and I'm pretty excited.
I mean, one of the bigger changes people might see is not even in the format. It's going to be our backdrop.
Yeah, well, I'm not even going to say anything.
Well, I'm not saying the backdrop itself. I am currently house shopping, and there's a very good chance I'll be in a new home.
Okay, that's true.
Within the next week or two. So we will have a new studio space. You'll have new angles. It's going to be a really nice setup. You guys are going to really like it. It's going to really improve our quality. So those are some big changes.
Don't let him fool you, though. I will be taking the New York skyline background with us because I don't plan on him doing a backdrop for the show. And so
what we might have beneficial is a solid colored wall behind us that we can then convert to a green screen.
Maybe
we can put whatever we want.
Videos play behind
it'll
us
be
for
like
YouTube.
It'll be like space.
Like we're watching it with them. Like, oh no, that.
No, but it's going to be fun. We got some big changes. You want to go over a couple more changes or get them with the good news first?
We're going to do good news first because no matter what this show becomes, it will always start with some good news for you, and it's always going to end with comedy. That is not changing.
That's the way we feel about our show. That's the way we feel about our lives. Always focus on the good news first, and then always finish your day with a little bit of laughter.
I like that, Ben. I wasn't even thinking that way, but
I thought that's why we did it.
No. See? This is one of those things where the dominoes just fall into place.
Always
I never
focus
thought
on
about it that way.
The good news first. We can talk about the heavy stuff, but start with the good news, and then always finish by lightening it back up and saying, that was good talk, but let's get back down to being real fun human beings for a minute and have some fun and laughter.
It's like I thought about that.
It's almost like
but
you thought about that. Let's start with some good news, Sean. We got a really good article here, and it goes into kind of what we're all about.
You want to start her off?
Sure. This one comes from the New York Post. The title is Most Americans Average About 5 Good Deeds a Month. Sean thought it was 5 good deeds a day, and so I said, yeah, Sean, that's just you. Let's relax a little bit. You did just help somebody, 30 minutes before?
I did, yes, and we find this article. His car was stuck at an intersection, and he was blocking the stop sign, and so I jumped out of my truck real quick, pushed him around the corner, and got him to a side street parking spot, and he was very appreciative for that. He said he'd been sitting there for about 10 minutes. So.
And nobody else had helped?
No, 3 people drove around, he said, just to continue on their way once traffic was clear.
Out of the way, asshole!
Like he's doing it on purpose or something.
Sorry, my car's broke.
I am 1/5 of the way to my monthly goal, apparently.
Apparently,
20% done.
You've already started, so... All right, so, again, this comes from the New York Post. This starts off with, the average American carries out 5 good deeds a month, according to a new survey. Whether it be helping someone with directions or holding the door open for a stranger, it really is true that the smallest thing can make a big difference to someone. Over half of those surveyed have even gone so far as to pay for a stranger's meal. Other good deeds people have carried out within the past year include helping someone carry their groceries, picking up litter or garbage, and giving change to a panhandler.
The study conducted by One Poll on behalf of Vitamin Angels examined Americans' charitable habits ahead of Giving Tuesday, a national day devoted to giving back. I didn't even know that was a thing. If that's this Tuesday, that's kind of cool.
No, last Tuesday.
People are more willing to give back after being on the receiving end of someone else's good deed. Approximately 20% more likely, in fact. That's kind of cool. We witnessed that last year at Dave when Corbin got to pay it forward, and then they paid it forward immediately after. So we definitely watched that in action, too. That's cool.
Do you think it's a guilt trip, or do you think it just makes you feel better?
Both.
Because I've been there at McDonald's or something, and somebody's like, "Oh, the person in front of you paid for your meal," and I'm looking at this girl. I'm like, "Is she gonna get mad at me if I say
don't pay?"
Good, right? Like, keep going, Sean.
After being on the receiving end of someone paying it forward, 88% of respondents said that they then returned the favor to a stranger. Respondents were also asked to share the nicest thing a stranger has ever done for them. Answers included simple acts of kindness, such as asking them how they were doing, to returning lost wallets. One respondent even shared a story of a big rig trucker helping them change their flat tire on a cold winter night, allowing the respondent and their son to sit in the cab to keep warm.
People aren't just generous with their time, but also with their wallets. Of those surveyed that currently donate to a charity, their monthly monetary donations are an average of $41.39. Despite their charitable habits, 7 in 10 respondents said they feel guilty if they do not donate to charity during the holiday season. Furthermore, 83% agreed that they wish they could give more throughout the year, with 64% citing that their own financials limit them. When it comes to researching what charities to contribute to, men were 14% more likely to turn to social media instead of women, at 81% and 67% respectively. Most Americans, 76%, go directly to the charity's website to do their research before pulling out their wallets. When it comes to the best way to make an impact, 4 in 5 respondents agreed that monetary donations are the best way to ensure the charity carries out their work. Whether your donation to charity is big or small, you are making a significant impact in the lives of some of the most vulnerable people in your own community and globally, said Howard Schiffer, president and founder of Vitamin Angels, a global nonprofit working to end malnutrition. Giving Tuesday is a great opportunity for donors to maximize the impact of their funds because many organizations have partners who are matching donations during the holiday season.
The top charities Americans prefer donating to include those that help children, 76%, and those that help women, 61%. A whopping 87% of Americans also said they prefer to donate to charities that not only make a difference in their local community, but also around the world. We are reaching millions of undernourished women and children in all 50 U.S. states and globally in over 70 countries, said Schiffer. If you only have $5 to give, at Vitamin Angels, $5 matched would provide 2 at-risk pregnant women with prenatal multivitamins or 40 young children with vitamin A, an essential nutrient to undernourished children in developing countries need to combat preventable blindness, illnesses, and even death. That's a huge, life-changing impact for a small investment. The top 10 good deeds done by people who were surveyed: helped someone with directions, held the door open for a stranger, let someone with fewer items go in front of me in a line in store, helped someone cross the street, completed a chore or errand for a family member or friend, gave $1 or so to charity when checking out while shopping, donated clothes to a thrift store, helped someone carry their groceries home, return a lost item that I found, paid for a stranger's meal. I have done 7 out of those 10 in the last week.
Oh, come on.
That blows my mind. I'm not kidding. As I like, even just the one as simple as like letting someone in front of me go for the grocery store. I did that last night.
I did that
with
2 nights
someone
ago
who only had
myself.
one bag of chips, and I had like 20 items in my cart, and I was just like, dude, clearly you can go ahead. And he was so grateful for it.
Mine was selfish because I had a 30 rack in my hand, and I always take the time to say, this is good exercise. My arm feels it. So I was like, I'll take another 2 minutes and just let this person go in front.
Since you know you're getting ID'd and they have to come over and help you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
But
the top charities people prefer donating to, like we talked about a moment ago, are charities that help children, charities that help women, charities that help the environment, and charities that help animals. I think we can all understand that.
right. And the nicest things that strangers have done for people, just to list them out. A stranger once gave me a change of clothes and some tea and let me use their shower after I was caught outside in a severe storm in Florida on a business trip. Another person said, I'm an older person and should not be doing some of the things I do. Last winter, a neighbor's boyfriend helped me shovel my driveway.
Another person said, I had nowhere to go and no money, and a stranger gave me a ride to the closest hotel, paid for my stay, and bought me a hot meal. Took me back to my room and left me with about $100.
Wow.
Now that's going above and beyond.
That is a good person right there.
Another person says, my car got hit by a drunk driver and took off. A man who witnessed it stayed with me until the police arrived to give his account.
That's so unfortunate that her car took off after it was hit by a drunk driver.
Not the car, her car.
Oh, I mean the wording of that.
The drunk driver took off, Sean.
My car got hit by a drunk driver and took off.
Man, that car did take off,
See?
maybe. We'll have to check the facts here. We'll get back to
We're
you
going to
next
dig into
episode.
the story a little bit more, folks.
Another one, an employee at a Walmart store came up to this woman's son, or this man's son, who was throwing a huge tantrum and offered him a snack to calm him down. Another one says, I was driving back from the ER in the middle of the night with my toddler when I got a flat tire. I pulled over to the side, but it was at a very quiet and dark part of the interstate. A big rig truck pulled over and told me to sit in his cab to keep warm, and he would change my tire. And that's really nice. I think we should all take a second to think about some good deeds that you've done recently, but also maybe that other people have done to you,
Right.
for you, that you may not be thinking about.
Yeah. Gratitude. I think we talk about it all the time.
Have we?
I think so.
Has that come up on the show before?
And it's easy time for me to ask a good deed of the listeners.
Okay.
Not only can you try and do nicer things for other people, but we need your help real quick. We have done 45 episodes previous to this one of the BOWA show. That is over 45 hours that you guys out there have listened to of this show. In one way or another, you probably either know me or Ben personally, and if you don't, you're probably a fan of the Facebook page. So you are able to contact us in one way or another. We want to hear what your favorite episode of those first 45 are. And this is like crucial. Ben was saying that we're going to start charging $5 an episode going forward if you don't just answer this question.
Yep.
I said that's ridiculous.
We will start charging. It is going to go directly into my bank account. So if you don't respond...
If you don't want to support Ben's greedy habits, we need you to tell me what's your favorite episode that you've listened to.
Tell us what it is, or I'm sending you a bill in the mail.
Because we have numbers in front of us, like we obviously get analytics, so we know the episodes that have been played the most, but that doesn't always necessarily translate to what is your favorite episode. So we're trying to collaborate a list that'll give us like everybody's favorite episodes and kind of find out what worked through them and what didn't. So your feedback is critical to this process. So let us know. Reach out. This is going to be an extremely short episode today because we're focusing on some of these format changes. Moving forward, things that Ben and I have talked about, so we're going to keep similar structures the same. We still want to get more interviews. We've reached out to a lot of people. We have the feelers out there. We're starting to bring in more of the interview process. If you're somebody who wants to be a part of that, please reach out about that as well. People's stories matter, and whether or not you think yours does, I guarantee that it would resonate with somebody else once you just start talking about it.
Yep.
Because we've all been through struggles, we've all seen hell, and most of us just haven't shared it yet.
And people want to hear other people's stories because it helps validate what they're going through or make it a little bit easier.
It does.
We can talk day in and day out, week after week,
And
Sean
we
and
will.
I, and we will continue to, but we're not the most valuable people for this podcast.
Nope.
You are.
Yep.
So please come on the podcast.
That's right. So become a part of the show. Become the vested listeners. There are a core of you out there who have been with us right from the beginning and have listened week in and week out. I cannot believe that there are people who actually listen at 7 o'clock in the morning on Mondays when the show comes out.
Immediately.
When you wake up and you see that a group of people are actually listening the second the show comes out, you're like, wow, okay, it's working on some people, you know? But at the same time, we want to find ways to bring so many more aspects into the show. We want more interviews. We're going to shorten some of the lengths of the episodes. It's not that you're going to get any less content. We're actually going to up the content that you get. So we're
Twice a week.
That's right. Twice a week, 30-minute episodes.
Yep.
You'll get 2 good news stories. You'll get 2 comedy. We're still going to start the show and end the show the exact same way. We're going to shorten up mine and Ben's talking time. We're going to get you with some of those good clips that we've been sticking with through because I know how much they motivate people and I know how much they work for me, so we're never going to drop that. But I would love for our shows to dial in at about a half hour with like a 15 to 20-minute interview interview with someone else with 2 to 3 minutes of comedy, 2 to 3 minutes of good news, and let's narrow down what me and Ben have to talk about, because it's not a show that's about us. We've carried weight through 45 episodes to be able to say, yup, I love talking and we love bringing you that message, but this is about you, and that is exactly what fuels us. That's what keeps us going. The listeners out there, the people who have dedicated their time and time again, I tell you that the most valuable thing you own is your time, and there are people who give it to us week in and week out. I tell you all the time how appreciative I am for you. We usually save it for the end of the episode today, and you're just getting all of it right now, because we don't matter without you guys being out there listening. So it's time for your feedback to chime in. Reach out to Ben, reach out to me, or reach out to the show and inbox us there. We're pretty good about answering those messages too. So one way or another, get in contact with us over the next week and let us know what your favorite episode is, things you like, things you'd like to see more of. Maybe you're willing to be a guest. Give us that feedback. Calling on you, the listeners, and let's see what kind of a response we can get out of it.
Yep, that will be your good deed to us.
That's right. Your good deed of the week will be accomplished simply by doing this for me.
You can check off one of your 5 good deeds you need to do this month, just by letting us know what you like and what you don't.
Yep. And so we'll see those changes moving forward. Like I said, it's something that we're really excited to do. I want more content. I want our YouTube to be better. Last episode that came out, go check it out if you haven't. They're way cleaner now. Mm-hmm. We've got transitions. We've got real video clips. We've got music dialed in. We fade in and out. Things look nice on YouTube. Okay. And we're going to up that content as well over the next couple months, where you'll see good news individualized. Maybe you'll just see those 3-minute news clips. I would love to just start doing a daily one, even if it's on my own, just find a good news story and read it and record it and put it up there. So we're going to up the content that you guys see, and we're going to make it more digestible, short, sweet, and hit you with it. Because I think that instead of just that hour-long package a week, give you a couple smaller bites that are easier to take in. And that'll be much easier for new people who come on board. Because we love you guys, and the fact that you listen for an hour at a time is amazing. And anybody who's talked to us says that they like the longer episodes, the people who have listened. But at the same time, if you're someone brand new, you look at an hour as a pretty long commitment to dive into. So if we could do 2 30-minute episodes a week, or maybe we do at some point 3 20-minute episodes a week, whatever it breaks down to. You do an interview in the middle of the week, and then the other 2 episodes are just our normal talking the way it would be. We'll figure all those things out. A lot of that has to do with the feedback that you guys give us, though.
And we like keeping it a little bit different every episode. It's all going to be a little bit different. Yep. It's going to mix things up. It's going to make it more digestible for you. But there are going to be some times in the future, too, where we will stick with longer episodes when we've got real good topics.
Exactly. Or you have a guest on who goes for an hour and a half. Cool. I want you to have that space in that time. Don't feel limited to short conversations. The fact is, too, we may sit down, and if you do a Skype call, or if you actually come in and record with us, we may have an hour and a half to a 2-hour conversation that we film that we can break down into a couple parters. So, you don't have to feel like you're limited. If you want to do a short 15-minute, hey, I've got this that I want to say to the world, cool, come on and do it. If you want to talk with us for an hour and a half, cool, come on and do it. We will support any and all messages that you guys are trying to get out there with, because it's a show about positivity, and it's a show about you. And so we're bringing that as a part of 2020, and that's basically all today is your first little taste of a much easier to digest episode. We know that episode 47 and 48, we are going to do the first 2-parter release next week. So trying out the new shorter format with a release on like Monday and maybe Wednesday. We always see a good spike in listens on the weekend too. So we might get to a point of like a weekend release or something. But so we'll try that out for the next 2 episodes. Episode 49, we're going to do a highlight episode where we're going to pull clips from all the episodes that we've done leading up to it, and then we have big plans for number 50. So everything is in the works. The ball is rolling for that, and it is very exciting to be a part of the show that's evolving just like life does. It's always changing. And I want the show to grow with us all the time, too.
I got to go buy champagne for episode 50.
Well, we'll be a little bit of the bubbly.
The bubbly in the morning.
Matt's going to get that reference, and he'll get a kick out of it. Except he doesn't like AEW as much as I do. So, shots fired on Matt at the end of this podcast episode. He'll laugh, though. I know he's sitting in his car right now as like he's listening to this, laughing now.
Funny thing is, I can actually see it and hear it happen.
Right, yep. And then we'll get the text that he'll say, "Oh, you're right, I did."
Yeah.
And now he won't because he's hearing this right now at that time.
This is like
All
Inception.
Right. It's true, we just incepted ourselves.
Yep.
Should we do comedy?
I think so.
It's going to be nice, easy, lemon peasy. Her name is Audrey. It's a video from the Laugh Factory.
Yep. Audrey
she likes
Stewart.
Natty Light, which is right up Ben's alley, except at the end, I think she says she's a lesbian, so no
I know.
luck for you, Ben.
That's a real shame.
Swing and a miss.
All the ones I really like it. Well, I'm just joking. No, but this one's great. Like you said, Audrey Stewart from the Laugh Factory talks about her getting banned from Uber. Kind of hits home for Sean because he's a Lyft driver. So he knows how things go in that realm.
You got to treat your drivers right because we can rate you just like you can rate us.
So give this one a listen.
I actually cannot take Ubers anymore because my rating is so low. I actually had someone pick me up and they were like, "Yo, I've heard of you." I was like, "Well, I do stand-up comedy." They're like, "Definitely not from that." I was sick. They were like, "You're the girl who randomly screams and yells in the Uber." And that is correct. But I take Ubers to parties and to bars, and I like to pregame in my Ubers. But they don't like that. And I pregame with canned beer, Natty Light, because I'm a hot bitch. Yes, thank you, hell yeah. So every time I open my beer, I have to be discreet. So I'm just like, yeah! It'll get you banned. I live in LA, which is amazing, right? Yes. Living the dream. Whoa, just don't look at my bank account. It'll tell you otherwise. Okay. But sometimes I get to do really cool stuff, like go to parties in the Hollywood Hills with celebrities. And every time I see these celebrities, I'm always saying the same thing. I'm always like, "Hey guys, can I interest you in a shrimp cocktail?" I am crushing it. Okay. I'm also a babysitter. Calm the hell down. Okay. I like being a babysitter as a comedian because kids laugh at everything, right? There could be a knock at the door, and you could be like, "What if that was a caterpillar with an eye patch and a cowboy hat?" They'd be like, "Oh, you're crushing it!" But if you were in a 9-to-5 in a business meeting, and there was a knock on the door during the business meeting, and you were like, "Hey guys, what if that was a caterpillar with an eye patch and a cowboy hat?" They'd be like, "Tell HR Audrey's on acid and fire her." Wouldn't it be as fun? Here's something that just happened. What's the best part about babysitting? The food, correct. In LA, it's not as fun because they'll be like, "Help yourself to anything in the house." And then you open the cabinet and it's just one almond that's unsalted. And you're like, "What the hell is this?" But I found trick cereal high up in the cabinets where only the tall-ass stoner dad could reach, you know? So I grab the weird milk from the fridge, made myself a fat bowl, and the mom comes home later and she goes, "I'm so tired, but I still have to pump." Ah, yes, Laugh Factory, yes! The milk I used in the fridge was her breast milk. But the best thing was, it was the best goddamn bowl of cereal I have ever had, and I'm like, "No, I know for sure that I am gay." You guys are amazing. Thanks so much.
Good stuff. As always, from the Laugh Factory.
Laugh Factory always brings a tear of laughter to my eye. Audrey Stewart, this one was great. Thank you for making me laugh. Appreciate it. And I think it's funny, too, putting yourself in the shoes of the Uber driver sometimes. I'm thinking about all the crazy things I've done. Funny story, one of my friends jumped into this Uber. Goes, "Hey, are you my Uber?" Immediately gets punched in the face.
It was not
because he jumped into somebody's car with them. So, just a little side note there.
The college days.
Yeah, no, this was like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
No, thanks for joining us today on this quite short episode, but get ready for next week. It's going to be awesome.
Give us that feedback. It seriously means everything. I don't care if you are a day one listener and you've never said a word to us, or you're somebody who's listening for the first time right now. Give us that feedback.
Let us know.
Because our format's changing and we're moving forward.
Yeah,
so.
just tell us if you want to help change the shape of this podcast or help influence where this podcast goes. Now's your chance.
Please, please, please.
Please jump on and let us know what you think.
Do it.
Do it! Just do it! Do it! Don't wait, do it!
If we had a green screen, Shia LaBeouf would be over our
If you
shoulder
dance
right
behind
now.
us, do it!
Thank you guys so much for joining us today on the BOWA Show. End it the same way we always do. Spread some love, tackle today, and as always, make the best of what's around.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind is gone. But I ain't never crossed a man that didn't deserve it. Me be treated like a punk, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you're talking and where you're walking, or you and your homies might be lying in chalk. I really hate the trip, but I gotta low. As they croak, I see myself in the pistol smoke. Fool, I'm the kind of G the little homies wanna be like, on my knees in the night, saying prayers in the street light. Been spending most of their lives living in a gangster's paradise. They've been spending most of their lives living in a gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in a gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in a gangster's paradise. Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the state, so I gotta be down with the hood team. Too much television watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with money on my mind. Got my tin in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a loped out gangster, set tripping banker, and my homies is down, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, death ain't nothing but a heartbeat away. I'm living life, do or die. What can I say? I'm 23 now, but will I live to see 24? The way things is going, I don't know. Tell me why are we so blind to see that the ones we hurt are you and me? We've been spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We've been spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. We keep spending most of our lives living in the gangster's paradise. Power and the money, money and the power. Minute after minute, hour after hour, everybody's running, but half of them ain't looking what's going on in the kitchen. But I don't know what's cooking. They say I got to learn, but nobody's here to teach me. If they can't understand it, how can they reach me? I guess they can't, I guess they won't, I guess they front. That's why I know my life is out of luck, fool. We've been spending most of